Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Matt, and today I wanted to talk about a really cool technique that I've picked up on how to learn some of these really hard words while you're trying to learn a language. So let's get started. I think that obviously vocab is super important part of the language learning process. And got to know a lot of words when you want to be at a fluent level. And something that's really important, I think, is just getting down words that maybe you're missing a lot, you see a lot, or just for whatever reason, they're not clicking in your head. And, you could apply this principle to really any stage, right? Maybe you just really need to understand or memorize the question words like what, where, why, how. Or maybe you see this word that pops up all the time and you just can't get it down, or you see a couple of words that just you can't nail down. Well, one thing that I think is just a great way is to kind of have this automatic review system in random parts of your life. And just to have those words constantly being bombarded in random things that you do on a daily life. So it makes this kind of process of getting those words down in your long-term memory a lot easier. So what are some of these methods? Well, one is I just recommend having some sticky notes or a flashcard or something along those lines, and put them in places where you're going to memorize them. Now, I understand right away, right? You don't want to have your entire house covered with, vocabulary words, right? You have words on your door, words on your bathroom, and then your whole house has now become a art gallery for vocabulary words. If you can do that, great. But I think a lot of people, they're either living with other people or what have you, and it's not practical. But we can apply this in some sort of narrow context where it's actually useful. So when you're using this flashcard system, this sticky note system, don't overdo it, but put them in places where, it's not going to be just too much of a burden with other people, or it's just not going to be too burdensome for you. So what are some quick places, right? If you have a laptop or a computer screen, take some sticky notes, put that word on there and the meaning, the definition, or whatever you're trying to memorize, and just put them below your screen, right? Just have 4 or 5, and such that every time you sit down at your computer, look at them once. That's it. 10 seconds. Maybe you can even say them out loud, because there's that visual component. There is and then saying it out loud, the actual, hearing of it, or hearing what you're saying, and then kind of that, that action sense of saying it out loud. So put it on your computer. Every time you use your computer, boom, do that exercise. Another great place, put it on your fridge, right? Just put a sticky note, 3 sticky notes. It's not too much of an ask. And do the same thing, read it. You can also even put it in your car, right? Put it right next to your steering wheel, or maybe just, if you don't want to put sticky notes in your car, maybe have a notepad with those 3 or 4 words. You can even put it right next to your bed in your bedstand and read those words right before you go to bed. Maybe it's in your bathroom, whatever it is, right? The key idea here is that whenever you do one of these tasks, whether it's sit down at your computer, go to the fridge, or what have you, that you review these words, right? And ideally you want to review them, like I said, by reading them, by saying them out loud, because you're hearing it, you're reading it, you're seeing it, and then you're kind of actioning it out, right? By saying it out loud. And this is going to really, before you know it, really put those words into your long-term memory, and you're going to remember those words. And after a while, you can just kind of remove them and you're done. And that's a great way to remember words with really no effort, right? You don't need to sit down and just, sit at a table and just keep reviewing these words over and over and over and over and over again. Like, I need to memorize these words now. Like, you don't need to do that, right? It's like a very painless way. It's you obviously been struggling to memorize them in your normal studies. Just do that, and you'll see that those words will slowly kind of come back to you. And it's a great way to pick up those words that you're really struggling with. Now, I would really recommend trying to not trying to overdo it too much, right? You don't want to have your computer screen with 30 sticky notes on there, and your fridge with 30 sticky notes, or what have you, or like a notepad with 40 words you got to review every time you go to bed. You can do that. I think that the value add really starts to go away when you start adding a ton, right? Just do something very manageable where it's not a big ask, it's not very exhausting, and your mind can really just focus on those narrow words, right? If you're really trying to pick up a ton of vocabulary words, there's better systems out there, right? Whether that's using flashcard systems reading or whatever, right? I think this is the key method for picking up those words that are very, very, very important, or words that you're struggling with and you just can't remember for the life of you. So it's a great way, not a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and it's a great way to get studying in pretty much no effort. And you can rotate them out, right? Like once you've gotten those 3 words, you can just take them down and replace them with new words. And it's just this great way to always continuously be having these new words that you're mastering that are a little bit difficult to remember maybe, and boom, there you go, getting that studying in with not much of an ask. So try this method out. It's a great way. Let me know what you think. Do you have any other study techniques that you use to pick up vocabulary words? And I will see you in the next video. Take care.